I wasn't going to record this one, but here we are with a foil Dragonlord Silumgar, so let's see where this leads us. I like ye. This is the Dragons of Tarkir draft, obviously. Alright. Now, unfortunately, we sort of have to be willing to abandon it. If we have to. It's obviously a great pickup anyway. What do we have here? Gadul Lurker's fine. Warbringer is actually interesting. I found the dash deck to be a very, very, very real thing. There's also Pacifism and Flatten. I am sort of interested in the Warbringer, but it is a bit far off from our first pick. And Flatten is a premium removal spell, so we'll just take the Flatten and probably try the dash deck another day. Alright, Foul Tongue Invocation is great. The blue-black stuff is otherwise not that great. I'm not a fan of effects like Ojutai's Breath. Updraft Elemental is, not great. Sibzig Icebreakers is okay. We're seeing a Kirin go by. We're going to take the Foul Tongue Invocation here and stay on black at least. I don't know if blue is going to be more than a splash given what we've seen so far. But we'll see. Alright, we have Contradict, a Grave Purge, a Call Again Skirmisher, an Ojutai Summons, and a Vulturous Avens. I didn't see the Aven, so I was thinking like, I'll take the Summons and be unhappy with it. I don't like Ojutai Summons at all. But we'll take the Aven. The last deck we played was pretty well mono black with a bit of red, and if black is going to flow, like a fourth pick Aven is pretty good, then we'll be perfectly fine playing, mono black splashing a little bit of blue. This guy's nice. I wonder what I know he's worth a lot on his own. I wonder what a foil one is worth. Okay. So, some good red cards here. The Beastbreaker is also good. Ramoka Warrior and Sandcrafter Mage are also amazing. Not amazing, but, solid. So the question here is, do we want to stick to blue-black and take the Drowner even though blue hasn't been incredibly open, or do we want to maybe take one of the white cards and look to splash Silumgar? The thing I found with the black-blue deck, and I mentioned this in other videos if I indeed uploaded them, is the blue-black value deck doesn't tend to get there for me. So with that in mind, I'm actually going to dip a toe over into white. It's felt a bit more open, and I'm going to take the Sandcrafter Mage. If we can get a later Drowner, great. That means blue is open. It is a card that if the color is open, it does tend to go around a little bit. Here we have a Dutiful Attendant or another Sandcrafter Mage. Notably, 2 red dash cards. I think the dash deck could have been a thing and maybe could still be. So the question is, do we want like the Forerunners or do we want another Sandcrafter Mage? Let's stick on black-white. I am impressed with the white that's flowing. Alright, here we have a Marsh Hulk, a Palace Familiar, a Shambling Goblin, a Dragon Fodder. Palace Familiar isn't really enough to want me to go back into blue. So I think I'm just going to take either a Marsh Hulk. Yeah, Marsh Hulk is better than Shambling Goblin, even with a bit of random exploit. Alright, Acid Spear Dragon, Champion of Erishin, Shambling Goblin. You'll notice that blue is totally not open, but black is. So we'll take this dragon. It's a fine dragon. It's a Morph Dragon. We have a Kolagan. Is this the pack we opened? This is the pack we opened, so we didn't get that Dash Lord back. We could take the Custodian, or we could take that Monument. We could take the Student of Ojutai. How are we on spells? We don't really have a lot of spells. So the question here is, do we want this mediocre 2-drop, or do we want the Student? I actually think the Student is pretty good, even in a deck that, isn't necessarily going to be casting a lot of spells. It's a good defensive body like the Drowner, And that life gain is going to add up. We only have 2 spells so far, but obviously we'll pick up more. I do really want to splash the Silumgar. So obviously if the deck doesn't really allow it, we won't, but let's try to. So Glaring Aegis or Fate Forgotten or like Ancient Carp. We'll take the Aegis. I don't think it's as good as a lot of people think it is. I mean, I don't know. I've heard people say that it's undervalued. And when people say that, I think they sort of overvalue it. I've only actually seen it played in a game once. And it wasn't that great against me. I can see it being awesome. So if we have to play it, we'll try it. Alright, Ojutai's Breath. Notably, these are like 2... There weren't very many blue cards in this pack, and 2 of them came back. They're not things we really want to splash, though, so we'll just take the creature. Grave Purge, Contradict. I don't love Grave Purge, but this is a very creature-heavy deck, and we'll take it. Alright, Taigam Strike or a 1/6. I'm actually going to take the Taigam Strike. It doesn't look likely that I'm blue. Oh, I timed out because I was talking about it. I'm okay with the 1/6, but I was going to take the Taigam Strike because this seems like a deck that could get into board stalls. So that's a nice way to break through them for a lot of damage. But, you know, it's not a high pick for a lot of people, so it's possible we can pick one up. Alright, we have another Mythic here, which is a Shore Crasher Elemental. Notably, you only need 1 blue, really, to play it. Other options are Great Teacher's Decree. There's the Death Fang, which is another blue splash. Don't want Duress. Don't care about, you know, the Drowner's okay. The Skirmisher, the Carsey Status are pretty bad. Yeah, let's take the Shore Crasher Elemental. Let's go Mythic Splash. Mythic Splashes. We're really going to want to... I mean, we could move out of white. Like, it's not like these cards are completely outstanding. But the good thing about Shore Crasher is you don't actually need the triple blue. You can play them face down, and that's actually fine. We have a Silumgar's Command, a Hand of Silumgar, and that's about it. I don't really love the white in here. The other blue isn't great. We'll take Silumgar's Command. So we're getting a little push back to blue-black. And we'll be a little conservative on how much we follow it, because we're not sure exactly where we are. We might see some great white stuff. I'm going to try to stick as close to mono-black as I can. So, obviously we've got some insane blue splashes, though, so it makes blue a little more likely than white. Minister of Pain I've been pretty impressed with. Not outstandingly, but it's fine. And Hand of Silumgar can basically kill anything it gets into combat with. It mucks up the ground. I'm going to take the hand. Minister's actually wheel. Occasionally. We'll get our morphs in morph position. Alright, Hedonist Trove. Are we a Hedonist Trove deck? I don't mind Hedonist Trove. When people have played it against me, I've generally found it to be pretty good. The other option here is a Lore Master, which is also very good. Or another Marsh Hulk, which not really. It's fine. Alright, what's the upside on Hedonist Trove, and how defensive is my deck? I don't think my deck is that defensive that I can really count on playing a 7-drop enchantment that doesn't do anything. Yeah, talking about that, I've sort of convinced myself. So then it's a question of Lore Master or Marsh Hulk, and I'll go with Lore Master. If we get back like a Flatten or a Silumgar's Command, that's pretty good. Or even a Foul Tongue Evocation. It is expensive to flip back up. Don't get confused about that. Alright, here we could have a Contradict. I don't really love a 5-mana counterspell. I don't want another Grave Purge. I don't want a Virulent Plague. There are no white cards. I don't like Duress, so we'll take the Spirit Dragon. Alright, Void Squall, Sidisi's Faithful. Okay, Defeat. We're light on removal, so we'll take the Defeat. We have Feltongue Invocation, Flatten, and Silumgar's Command, which are all great removal spells. But, okay. So we have 2 Jamoka Warriors here. I'm not looking at Skywise Teachings. I feel like... I guess we should just take a negate over one of those, right? Like, we have 13 creatures. They're a little expensive. They really start at 3. But I think our blue cards are much more powerful than our white cards, although we are likely to see better white next pack. We'll take a negate, though. Scale Blessing, Anticipate, Tygam Strike. Okay. So this is an interesting choice between Anticipate and Tygam Strike. I think we just want the card selection. Scale Blessing, also great. Yeah. I think our blue is just way better than our white, though. So I think it's time to cut white. And we'll take an Anticipate. So we're at 10 creatures, actually. Alright. Oh, Drowner. I was going to say the 2-drop, but here's a Drowner. See, I told you can get Drowners when you want them. People don't tend to actually rate them that highly. Alright. Reduce in stature or encase in ice. These sort of have the same problem in that they're enchantments. Yeah. One's better for in the sideboard. Yeah, let's take Encase in Ice. Let's try it. Let's try the sideboard card. I don't love Reducing Stature. Alright, we're at Mind Rot or Spider Silk Net or Tygam Strike. I think I'm going to take the Strike. I can see it getting played more often. And the Marsh Hulk Wield, that's actually fine. It's a fine card. And here we'll take a Contradict. Maybe we play it, maybe we don't. And a Glint is actually fine to protect our Dragonlord or whatever. Alright. So, it was looking like white in the first pack, and now we're settled back on blue, which I like. Let's see what we get in Fate Reforged, maybe an original Silumgar. Well then, we have a Whisperwood Elemental. That we're 3 for 3 for Mythics this draft, which is insane. So the pick would probably be the Jeskai Sage or the Aven Surveyor. We're going to take the Whisperwood Elemental because he's still a bunch of money. Not as much as he once was, but still a bunch of money. Alright, Cloud Form, Lotus Path Djinn, Sultai Emissary. There's a Tranquil Cove, but I don't think we're splashing the white. So the question is it a Lotus Path Djinn or a Cloud Form? Honestly, I kind of like Lotus Path Djinn more than Cloud Form. But you have more chances to pick that up. This might be a case where I just bow to Common Knowledge and take the Cloud Form, even though it's not really one of my favorite cards. Alright, Rally, Executioner, Douse and Gloom, Scoured Baron. So if we did want to splash white, we'd be totally able to if we had taken that land and this land. And, you know, we could probably pick up a Harsh Sustenance at some point. This is probably just Douse and Gloom because we are a little bit short on removal. We have the Defeat, the Invocation, so we already have Executioner-like ability. And we have a Flatten, and that's about it. We have the, like, Encase in Ice, so let's take the Douse. Oh, we have Silumgar's Command, too, which is an excellent removal spell. Alright, Angler, Rats. Angler or Rats? That's sort of the question here, isn't it? Do we go big, or do we go Death Touchy? Let's go big. I want more win cons. And things are obviously going to die. Here's a Typhoid Rat, so perfect. Yeah, awesome. So we can probably cut the Tomb Shell. I don't love Contradict. Tygam Strike can come in case of stalls. And probably like... I want to try the Grave Purge. Maybe I take out the like Glint. It's good to protect Silumgar, but otherwise I don't really care that much. Now I sort of wish I'd grabbed that Palace Familiar in pack 1, in the middle of pack 1. But I was pretty far off blue at that point in my mind. Alright, so Sure Shot is a great card. I find it really good in the Dash deck. I don't think it's great in this deck. I think we're just going to take the Reach of Shadows. Tighten up our removal even more, which is perfect. It's always a card you want one of. We have ways to get it back with the Lore Master, and I thought there was another way possibly. Maybe I was just thinking Grave Purge. I think I was just thinking Grave Purge. Yeah. Alright, so this is a nice 23 card deck. Alright, Emissary, Lotus Path Djinn, Tranquil Cove. I'm going to take the Lotus Path Djinn here. Oh, or do we want the Emissary? That's kind of an exploit plan. How much exploit do we actually have, though? We don't really have that much. We just have the Aven. Yeah, we just have the Aven, so we can find something to sacrifice for that if we want the cards. Oh, and the Drowner. I think the Djinn's still a pick, though. We want something in the air. I don't really expect Emissaries to come back. We've passed 2 already, and a Jeskai Sage. Like, those are the real exploit plants in this set, but it's not like we have that many exploit creatures. It's not like we're super dependent on them. It would have been really fun to open the first Silumgar here, so we would have the old one, the new one, and his command. But I'm not going to complain about a Whisperwood Elemental, which is still 9 or 10 tickets, and God, who knows how much the Dragonlord Silumgar is. I have a feeling this draft will pay for, God, 10 drafts probably. Well, no, not 10. Like 3 or 4 or 5. Noxious Dragon's fine. We're not playing a Rune Mark, and we're not splashing anything else. Oh, the Aven Surveyor came back. I'm happy with that. Does mean our curve is getting a little high, but so we'll have to take a look at that. Maybe we don't play the Scion of Ugin. Maybe we don't main deck Negate. And let's cut Grave Purge. We're at 24. The fact that we're building up on 5s and 6s means we probably want to play 18 lands, so we have to make like 2 more cuts. Probably like the Icebreakers. And maybe the Scion. Let's cut up Icebreakers and Scion. $14 creatures is a little low, but it's also, you know, kind of right. Okay, we wield... I think that's the first Emissary we wield. I don't think we'll wield the second one just because it's pretty far along in the pack. I'm actually surprised we got this one back. The next one is like 2 or 3 picks down the road, so I have a feeling someone's going to hate it. But I'm very happy to get one that really works very well with our Aven and Drowner. And, yeah. Very good. Like I said, we would have been able to find little creatures to exploit to those if we really wanted the effects, but the Emissary is perfect for it. A good card on its own, and obviously when you're exploiting it, absolutely insane. Making it better and getting an exploit effect, just awesome. Alright, Alesha's Vanguard, Scoured Barrens. I don't think we're going to play an Alesha's Vanguard. I don't really think we're going to play anything in white either, to be honest. We're not going to see anything good. So let's take the Sibzig Host. That's just in case we find a game where we need to really ramp up our ground defenses. Against like red-green or whatever, we can bring in the Host and the Encase in Ice and feel a little more secure. Alright, Grim Contest, Grave Strength. Grave Strength is the only like sort of playable card here, but it's not something that I want to play ever really. if I'm gonna play a creature where I'm, or a card where I'm depending on creatures in my graveyard, I want to do something that does a little more than that. Even if that was instant speed, it would be better. Well, obviously anything's better at instant speed, but like I was saying, if I want something that cares about creatures in my graveyard, I started the last draft I did with Corpse Weft, and that turned out to be amazing. Being able to trade your creatures off and then make new creatures out of them was, you know, just wins games, really. It's slow, but it gets there. Alright, well, we'll just take the land from somebody. Probably no one's in green-blue. This is actually sort of what I like in a blue-black deck, because we do have that top end. I've been complaining a lot about blue-black dirtly value decks not having a top end, and this does. Someone gets that Scoured Barrens, but if it was going around that late, probably no one wanted it. That's the problem with recording drafts. You talk in the last picks of the pack, and you don't really have much time to pick. So I missed at least one this draft, and I probably would have just hated the Scoured Barrens there. Alright, so we kind of want one more cut. It could be the Foul Tongue Invocation. You gain 4 life if you have a dragon. We have 3 dragons. So it could be the Foul Tongue Invocation, could be one of the Marsh Hulks. Nothing else really screams out at me to be cut. How's our removal? Defeat, Douse, Flatten, Reach, Silumgar's Command, and Foul Tongue Invocation. And we have 15 creatures. I don't really want to go to 14. 16, sorry, with the Cloud Form. I hate how it messes up my morphs every time. And this is a morph too. Alright, so yeah, to me it's like a Marsh Hulk or a Foul Tongue Invocation. I kind of want to play with Foul Tongue Invocation though, so let's cut one of our Marsh Hulks. It's just beef, and if we need beef we can bring back in, and you know, I do want to play. I haven't played with it yet. Obviously I know the strengths and weaknesses of Edict effects, but I want to see how it does. And then obviously it comes out against, you know, many creature decks, but I do like the idea of like defeating something and having them sacrifice something else for like 5 mana. Alright, so this is fine. I like it. Definitely a lot of power in the late game. And our mid game's not bad either. I like it. That's a nice curve. Look at that. Brum, brum, brum. A little heavy up here, but you know, this is probably going to be more like here. Yeah, cool. So let's add basics. We're at 10-8 right now. We might just want to go to 9-9 because look at like this double blue, even triple blue. I don't think it's super likely that that gets played for triple blue, but it totally could. Let's just go 9-9. And we'll see you in round 1. I'm excited to see what this can do, and I'll look up what this bad boy's worth because it's got to be a lot.